My name is Camden. I'm a high schooler from Maine. So you've said that you believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, yet many young Americans from my generation believe strongly in support of gay marriage. And I was wondering if, as president, your viewpoint on that would change, knowing that many young Americans do not believe in the same thing that you believe in.
Yeah, it already has changed. I mean, look, I think this is generational. I think you put your finger on it, right? When I was governor and I was taking that position, I took a lot of heat from my kids because my kids were older at the time. And they were giving me a hard time about it. And I told them, I'm governor, you're not. So I get to take the positions I want to take. And I don't regret doing that. But what I know is that society has changed. And what people are accepting in our country now is different than when I was growing up, certainly than when I was your age. And you know, I don't have any objection to it any longer. In the end, I think I've been convinced. And you know, that's part of being a thinking, breathing human being, I hope, is that you can hold certain opinions at one time and hold them genuinely, and I did. And I felt there were other ways to be able to deal with same-sex relationships other than just marriage. And that was the argument I made at the time, was that we can accommodate this in other ways. But you know what? I was wrong. And so, you know, for me, it was a process I had to go through to change the way I've been raised, both from a family perspective and what my mother and father taught me and felt, and also from a religious perspective and what I'm a Catholic and what my church taught me to believe. But over time, look, this past week or two, Pope Francis is now allowing, blessings of same-sex couples. Even the church is changing. And so, I think this is part of just being honest with people. You can hold certain beliefs firmly, but then as you watch more and more evidence come in, and you meet more and more people and you listen to them and get to know them, your opinion can change, and mine has changed over time on this. And so I don't look back and have regret, because I know that I didn't do what I did out of any sense of prejudice or bias. It was just what I believed could be done and should be done. And even back then, I used to say, look, my argument with the legislature was that we shouldn't decide this, put it on the ballot, let people decide, and if they vote to have same-sex marriage, then I'll enforce the law like I'll enforce every other law. But you're absolutely correct that my personal opinion, you stated correctly, was I thought that marriage should just be between a man and a woman. That's the way I was taught, that's the way I was brought up, and that's what I believed. But your generation has changed my mind. So, and I'm sure that there were lots of things that, my parents tried to push on me that I didn't like. I can't remember it at the moment, but I'm sure there were, and because my dad's watching too, so I don't want to make this a tough night for him. And we changed their minds on certain things, right? So I think that's part of the role of the next generation, is to craft the world in the way they think is the best for them and for people of their age. And so you helped to make me better. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the question.